Back at Snappy Tomato Pizza with Coach Jason Simpson. Coach Kevin McMillan joins us in a couple minutes, and Coach Jason James on a little bit later. And Coach Simpson, looking back at that game with Southeast Missouri, we were talking during the game, Tom and I and John Abel, our sideline reporter, and just with the Jason McNair running the football, his numbers down a little bit. What's been the difference here?
It's a combination of things. One, Tevin made a couple runs, and you start getting comfortable with that, and you don't want to take him out because he's seen it pretty good. So there's some carries that Jason's losing because of success and it also depends too. Sometimes the formation, if we're in one back or two back, Jason seems to have a little bit more success when we're spread out a little bit. He can kind of tempo some of his runs. When you're in the two back run game, you really there's really no time for any hesitation. You got to just kind of hit it. And, and Tevin's more of that downhill runner. Jason's more of the lateral, guy. So it's a combination of things.
And Barksdale was pretty solid again, 16 carries, 135 yards, 8.4 yards per carry. And that's a great number. Is there a magic number, yards per carry, where you'd like to see?
Anytime you can get average 5 yards a rush, and two carries and you got a first down, that's kind of the, anything over 5 for a running back is considered outstanding.
Skyhawks again getting the win over Southeast Missouri. Coach, I don't have the Ohio Valley Conference standings in front of us, but we're still hanging in there in the thick of things.
Well, we're in the 2-loss mark at 4-2, and you've got 3 teams, I guess, with 1 loss, with Jacksonville State, Tennessee Tech, and East Kentucky. Now, good thing is we do get to have an opportunity to, we get a shot at EKU, in the last game. Of course, we got TSU before that. But there's 2 teams with 1 loss that we've lost to that we don't, so you kind of don't hold your own destiny in your hand when it comes to that. But there's still everybody. We've only got 2 conference games left where we're out of conference this week, and everybody else has got 3. So there's a lot of things can happen. This next week will clear it up even more. Right now, I don't waste a whole lot of time thinking about it because it just, as you know, 2 people lose, 2 people win. It just changes, So there's not enough time in the day to worry about that. But we would sure like to make a run at it and win these last 2 in conference, and let the math work for itself.
Did the Jacksonville State loss surprise you at all?
Yeah, it did at home.
Yeah,
it certainly did, especially by that score. I figured if Tech was going to have a chance to win, it'd have to be a shootout. But to hold Jacksonville to 14 points, that's pretty impressive. And so, Tennessee Tech came here and beat us, and then went on the road and beat Jacksonville State. So, obviously they're feeling pretty good about themselves, but they did lose at home to Tennessee State. So,
right.
In a close game too. So, these are some good football teams and very, very close football teams in our conference this year.
Coach, Saturday was the final home game at Graham Stadium. Your goals were to create a better atmosphere at home, and I think we did this year.
We did better than last year. You just get spoiled. You have your homecoming crowd. You wish all of them were like that. It was a positive crowd this week. I certainly, am not satisfied and want to push for more. But we were 4-1 at home this year. I think we definitely created a home field advantage. Of course, 5-0 would, we'd be sitting here at 6-2, and and 5-1 in the conference right now. So, but as long as you win your games at home, and then you take care, you get after some people on the road, you're always going to be in the thick of the things, and that's kind of the tradition we've created here.
With it being the final home game, it was also senior day, which is odd considering we have 3 games remaining and it's early in the season. Almost anticlimactic because I don't think the players were as emotional knowing that they had 3 games left.
It was very different. We kind of had a little thing Friday night where gave out some senior pictures and stuff, and guys kind of spoke up about their best memory at Graham Stadium. Whether it be an emotional one or best win or best, the funniest thing. And there were some fun stories that were shared. But yeah, the bottom line is, though, we still got 3 games left to play. Their script has not been written yet of how this senior class is going to end up. They're obviously at worst going to be 4-4 in the conference, which we've never had a losing record in the conference. But we want much more than that. I mean, you're 2 wins away of being 6-2. At worst, can go back-to-back 5 I won't say at worst, but with an opportunity to go, 2 back-to-back 5-3 years in the conference, which is still another brick or a stone in the path that we want to continue to climb.
Coach, when I look at this team, I was going to ask you this when we were looking back at the score. We scored 28 points in the first half. and 14 in the first quarter. This team, it seems to be more explosive at times than any team I've seen under your direction.
Right.
You agree?
Well, the 08 team, was able to put some points up too, but there was probably a lot more speed, especially at the wideout position on that team. And, so we've done it a little different way, but we've kind of changed our philosophies offensively to where, time of possession is great, but the bottom line is scoring points, and I've talked about that. And
let's talk about this. I like that. I mean, I remember the delay of game penalties that we got, I guess, last year and the year before that. So why did you change directions? Why was this philosophical shift?
Well, it's kind of the trend in college football, but also when you analyze each year what you've done good, what you've done bad, statistically we were in the top 2 of the last 4 years of total offense. So you're getting your yards. They may have been grinding out yards with enough big plays, but we were very efficient in our drives, but not scoring enough points. And meaning that, like I say, it's hard to go 12 plays 4 times and get your 28 points. Just very difficult. You're going to eventually mess it up and get to a 1st and 20 and you can't convert it. So some things had to change. So you got to do one or two things. Either you've got to spread out more and be more one back and be more wide open and throw it 55, 60 times, which, we didn't really want to do that, or you've got to play faster and try to get more plays. And now the downside of that is, as you know, you go 3 and out, your defense is back out there on the field. But, my philosophy of that right now this year, it may change back next year, is you got 3 plays defense to stop them. You want to get off the field, get 3 plays and get out. But you'll see at the end of the game, we use all the play clock once we've got a lead. But trying to get that lead, the bottom line is you're trying to get to that 30-point mark as fast as you can. And you go back and look at some of our games this year that we've kind of sputtered. I think a lot of it's because we slowed down Jacksonville State. We only scored 23 points. Eastern Illinois, we got the win, but we slowed down because we were more methodical instead of, just really on the attack. And so, anyway, it's worked for us up to this point, and we need to stay with it.
And I kind of like what it does to the defense. It seems to me to keep them on their heels.
I think we get a lot of, I won't cheap first downs.
Yeah.
Because you catch some teams looking for signals, kind of standing around, and they get blocked. And, we're able to, all of a sudden 2 first downs, and, man, you really change the field position. And so even if you don't convert right, you're able to punt it and pin them back, and now they got to go 80 yards. So, I like it. I think the players like it. It can be difficult to practice at times because, you've only got a set amount of plays that you run fast like that. You don't have 40 plays that you can go fast at. So you're not real sure of the looks that you're going to get on defense. What blitz is coming, 3-man front, 4-man front, what coverage is going to be behind it. So you try to speculate and go as fast as you can in practice. So we've had to be very creative, and maybe Oregon has to deal with this kind of issues as well. The difference is their quarterback's a running quarterback. So he can get you out of some things. We have to be, very efficient because Derek's more of a drop back guy. So we've kind of learned through trial and error, and hopefully we've kind of, worked our way into a little niche.
Well, I like it. Let's do it again next year. Hey, let's talk about next game instead. Coach, Mississippi State Saturday, Southeastern Conference School. We play Tennessee. We play scared Auburn. I know the fans will always remember us down there. Talk about this matchup.
Right. It's first of all, anytime you play an SEC school, it's a great, the tradition, the history, the pageantry of the college football. It's a homecoming environment there in Starkville, so I'm sure they'll have a great crowd. They're not having the season they would like to have, but they're sitting there at 4-4. Still with an opportunity to get to 8-4. I mean, you look at the rest of their schedule. I mean, of course, they've got Alabama, still left to play next week, but there's still a lot of winnable games left. So, they're trying to set themselves up for, a bowl game, not just a bowl game, a very, a warm weather climate bowl game. So they've got a lot to play for. And their losses, as you and I were talking earlier, to LSU, 19-6. To South Carolina, 10 ranked team in the country, 14-12. To Auburn early in the year by a touchdown, and to who was that one? South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, and just slipped my mind. I've watched all the tapes today.
Don't know.
I can't remember who it is. But anyway, it's an SEC team because they're 1-5 in the SEC.
Okay.
So was it somebody in the West? Can't remember. South Carolina, LSU, Auburn, and there's one more, and I can't remember. But anyway, so they're trying to get right the ship a little bit, get themselves going. They're led by their defense. They are, I mean, they're 15th in the country in total defense. You turn the tape on, and physically you see why. I mean, they look like, an SEC West team is supposed to look like. I mean, defensive linemen are 6'4", 295. I mean, and those are things that you come to expect, when you play an SEC team. So tremendous challenge for our offensive line to be able to block that front, and very physical on the back end. So certainly a huge challenge. You got to kind of find you something that you can do well. You're not going to trick them. You may trick them once. You're not going to trick them twice. You're going to have to block them. You're going to have to break some tackles. So when you go through these games, we've had experience in it. Like you said, my son last night tried to give me like 5 trick plays. And he's assured that that's 5 touchdowns. That's 35 points. And which a couple of them are pretty good. He's got a good imagination. The problem is you got to get yourself within score and get yourself inside that red zone to make one of those work. And that's the case in any game like this. You got to get the ball in the red zone, and then you take your shots in the end zone somehow, some way. When you're backed up, you really don't want to be too. You don't want to be too risky because you don't want to put your defense right back out there in the field with a short field to defend. They get you to 3rd and long. Sometimes you just got to kind of concede a little bit.
Yeah.
And, and that's the negative part, throwing on 1st down, right, because you don't get 2nd long, 3rd long. So that stuff doesn't change, but you just know the probability, the percentages of being able to convert on a 3rd. It doesn't matter if it plays Southeast Missouri or Mississippi State. If it's 3rd and 12, chances of you getting it are probably less than 10%. So you just got to play the odds, punt the football, try to get turnovers. But we're excited about it. I mean, I'm going to practice here in a little bit, and the kids will be bouncing around. They'll be excited. All of them have dreamed of playing in an SEC stadium. This is our opportunity to get back. Our Mississippi kids will be, excited to play in front of their family and friends, back in their home state. So I won't have to say a whole lot this week to get guys focused.
Plus, you get a ton of exposure.
You do. It's already Monday, and I've already started doing a couple of interviews, and you get to talk about the University of Tennessee Martin football program, and of course I've got ties there, being from State of Mississippi, and playing there early in my career. It'd be nice to kind of get back, and there's several, Rocky Felker's still there, who was my old coach. There's several people there that the athletic director, Scott Strickland, he was a student when I was there too. So they're good people. I'm proud of what that program's turned into. But we're going down there to play as hard as we can and see what that does for us.
Okay, we'll have it on the radio 6 o'clock pregame, 6:30 kickoff. Thank you, Coach, and good practice.
Yeah,
tonight.
good. Thanks.
That's Coach.